Well, there's nothing worse than a Valentine's Day where you're kind of just going through the motions. You're just doing it because instead of doing what's coming from the heart. So registered psychotherapist and relationship expert Victoria Lorient-Faibish is here with her new book called Connecting, Rewire Your Relationship Culture.
That's right.
And how wonderful to think that we could make this Valentine's Day the one that really matters.
Yeah, yeah.
We're connected. That's important.
Absolutely.
Why'd you write this book?
Well, book number 2, the first book, if you recall, was about finding your self-culture, but this book is really about, rewiring your relationship culture, which we really inherit from our family culture, our set of patterns and ways of being in our adult relationships.
So when we're growing up
Yeah.
and we're watching how our parents interact with each other,
Right.
that lays the groundwork,
That
doesn't it?
lays the neural pathways so that we are behaving in basically autopilot patterned ways. And this book is about really analyzing and looking at what are you doing? How are you behaving? Are you constantly reacting by guilting someone or by operating from a false sense of self, not the real authentic self, so that you're making choices that are based on what, maybe made the family happy, but not you happy? So I'm all about awareness brings a sense of opportunity to repeat new ways of being so you can lay down new neural pathways and then not just behave in the same old multi-generational dysfunctional way over and over again and have a good, passionate relationship, which is what I'm really all about.
It's possible. You have to create your own language together
Absolutely,
in a way, don't you?
absolutely.
So what's the feedback you're getting from people who've had a chance to read the book? 'Cause the launch isn't official yet,
Right,
but some
exactly.
people have been able to get their hands on it.
Absolutely. And also it's based on the work I do in the office every day with couples. So the feedback is this work really works. I mean, I have in here methodology to fight fairly, which is so important. Also, relationship rescue 911, like when things are going badly, what can you do to fix it quickly? What can you do to actually transform a fight that's going down the rabbit hole of hell and take it out of that and recover so that you're not laying down the groundwork for resentment and, going down divorce alley?
Because when you pile on those layers, layer after layer after layer of resentment,
Absolutely.
then you don't recognize where the problem is anymore.
Well, you're in the vortex.
You're so in it.
I want people to stand outside the vortex and observe what's going on. What's happening outside when you're outside the vortex, you can see much more in detail what's going on. And I talk a lot about also dating in the modern world, what people need to really do to encounter the dating experience in a way that they're going to come out of it empowered, as opposed to, absolutely sort of blindly just following, texting, and then dashing your fantasy about what you thought that person was like.
Here's a spot on healing the hurt child. Now, you're not talking about the actual children in your relationship, are you? You're talking about your
hurt child within, the part of us. We all have a part of us that is the child, whether it be the deprived child, the hurt child, the rebellious teenager. We want to know if we're operating from those pieces in our adult relationships, because if we are, guess what? We got a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old running your relationship, your adult relationship. And then I see people sometimes playing out these really dysfunctional patterns of the parentification and infantilization pattern. And then they come to me.
Parentification and infantilization.
So it's like a parent-child, even though they're two adults, and they're like, why aren't we having sex anymore, Victoria? It's like, well, guess what? When you're in the parent or the child, who wants to activate sexuality when you're in those kinds of patterns?
We don't realize that's what's happening. So how do you turn
Firstly,
the
awareness
light
is
on?
really important. And we want to find out why the person feels like they need to be the parent. Is there, it's like, why do they need to do that? And then suddenly the people that are in the relationship, either the person feeling who's constantly the parent or constantly the child, we start to have to change the way the communication happens, because honestly, that is a total road to unhappiness if you're going to stay in it, and then a road to leaving if you're deciding it's just too much.
And then you think, I'll have to find somebody else because this person.
But you're
going to
activate the same pattern.
Exactly. You're still you, taking all your issues with you.
Exactly. You got to know that we are going to repeat the same patterns over and over and over if we don't take charge and say, what's happening here? And something I really wanted to say, Val, I love doing premarital therapy, premarital checklist. So you're about to get married, you're deeply in love, it's Valentine's, rings, the whole thing, and now what? Well, you can go to your church and that's fine, and you can do whatever you want, but come to a therapist and really do the work of analyzing the real key areas of the premarital work, which is money, children, family relationships, and then lifestyle. And, money's a big one because, to debt or not to debt,
And if you don't do it before the actual marriage, do it before the kids come.
Well, this is my passion because you know what gets me up in the morning? People not repeating dysfunction generationally. That's why I've been doing this for 20 years. That's what makes me excited about writing another book and making sure that more people, not just the people that can pay me, but people who can buy a book. And by the way, the book is all at all the Indigos all over Toronto. I'm doing a big book signing. Oh, I'm doing a big book signing Saturday and Sunday at Indigo. Yonge and Eglinton on Saturday the 13th, and I'll answer any questions. And also Bay and Bloor at Indigo Bay and Bloor on Sunday, Valentine's Day. I'll be in the store.
Isn't that perfect?
I know, I'm so excited. And it's all over the West as well, Vancouver, signed books in Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton,
Nice. And then
McNally's.
the big official launch.
The 18th. We're going to be the 18th, yes.
You must, when people walk into your office, you must see these patterns. They jump out at you. You're so good at this.
Absolutely.
But getting people to see it themselves, there's an art to helping them do that, isn't there? And
well, absolutely.
You walk us through that process with
Most
this.
definitely, exactly. Deanie Petty, remember Deanie Petty? Mm-hmm. She wrote the foreword to the book, and she basically said, if she had had this book, it would have given her a bit of a shortcut through all of her relationships. So I'm very excited to be able to do the work that I do in the office, but have it in a book format so people can understand you don't have to repeat the same patterns.
And
it's not necessary.
Can you not make the relationship you're in the relationship you want,
Absolutely.
rather than ditch this one and try and find somebody else who fits the bill?
Most definitely.
It's, as you say, you're just going to end up repeating the same problem. So
most definitely fix this one. Work on this one. And usually it means work on yourself. Really work on yourself. Really understand what your inner motivations are. Understand what your inner patterns. What did you bring from your mother and father's relationship? What did you see and normalize and now bring to your relationship?
Because that's what you can fix is,
yeah.
You can change you.
Change you, but then that has a reverberating effect on the marriage, on the children, on the relationships. I mean, it's profound, in my opinion, in terms of changing the planet, because we have so much fear and loathing, fear and self-loathing going on that I believe we can change that internally, and that'll reverb.
I love your passion. The passion comes through. You want people.
I really do.
To be in love again.
Absolutely, and with self and the person they're with.
Yeah. So go check her out at her book signings. Again, that's on the 13th and the 14th, and then the big book launch on the 18th.
Right.
And you can get more information at visualizationworks.com. Get
That's
connected this Valentine's Day. Thank you so
sweetheart.
much.